Okay, it's 7:30 on the 11th of June. This is the Agricultural Commission meeting here at the Lakeville Council on Aging. The first thing we're going to do is we will let everybody know we are being recorded by the local cable, and we will review our previous meetings' minutes. We did not have a May meeting due to a lack of a quorum that we knew in advance, so we're just going to review the April minutes real quick. If everybody wants to read them and see if they have any issues with them.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, unanimously accepted. If we could have Mr. John Powderly at the table from the Board of Selectmen. The Selectmen's office had reached out to me earlier in the week and asked if Mr. Powderly could be put on tonight's minutes. He is, I guess, looking for the possibility of some assistance from the Agricultural Commission. Sir, you have the floor.
Yep. So thank you for putting me on the agenda. So we have the Betty's Neck fields, if you will, on the land that we had purchased. There was a farmer who had farmed it or baled it for a number of years. And I say a number of years. He had subbed it out to various people also, but he had been responsible for baling it, and he paid the town $2,500 per year since the beginning of time. And he chose not to do it this year at the last moment, meaning like 2 weeks ago. So I had reached out to a few people, a few farmers, and I can tell you who I reached out to, but I thought, what a better place to do rather than just come here. So maybe there's a couple of issues. One is, from an immediate point of view, do we know anyone that can bale 40 acres? And it visually looks good. If you ask me, there's horse people that feed their horse most anything, the horses could be happy. There's other people that, if you said there's a $4 bale and a $6 bale and a $10 bale, they want the $10 bale. And then there's the cow people who will feed most anything also. So there's a whole myriad of who might be interested, but some of the horse people were somewhat reluctant. They never went and looked at it, but they were reluctant, what's the soil samples and so on and so forth. Well, we're not in a position to do that at this point in time. So I was looking for a couple things. One, assistance on who you might know to bale it. What would they be interested in giving us to do it this one-time cutting? And the second issue would be to potentially write specs for a quote for us, where we would send it out to quote. We'd enter into maybe a longer term contract, my suggestion, but you're better at it than myself. A longer term contract where you would say, here it is, a fee, you have a fixed fee, you have to fertilize it, you've got alignment, you've got to show us the invoices. And so it could grow into a great field and a great situation for whoever takes it over. So, but I'm not in a position to enter a long-term contract. I'm just interested in someone getting in there before it all turns to junk can someone bail it and take it and pay us, and what are they interested in doing? I think most people can get 80-plus bales out of a good field. You know, you can define that as, what is a 40-pound bale, 80-pound bale, so on and so forth, but a standard rule seems to be about 80 bales per acre, so someone might get 3,200 bales out of 40 acres. It visually looks okay. You know, there's some bare spots, as there always is, because someone got in there with dirt bikes or ATVs back years ago and didn't get repaired. But maybe it can be put to a better use too. I'm not speaking for the people that own this, but we took the money and we funded functions and things like that at the Betty's Neck. Maybe it's better if it's farmed. I don't know that either. But the immediate part is, do you know anyone that can hay it? I can leave this with you folks. It's 40 acres plus or minus. We broke this out into 11 plus acres and 29 acres for this. It visually looks good. The keys are at the highway barn, although anyone can, you know, drive up the road and walk it, but I actually got the keys and drove around it. The highway department, if I told you, they actually mow the outside perimeter of the 40 acres.
Right.
So people can walk it. I never run into anyone there, a couple of bird watchers and a few other people, but the keys are at the highway. You don't necessarily need them. For those of you that have been there, there's a little parking lot here, but the gates to get in there to drive around it, you know, are here. And the highway department certainly can get them for you. They go in and mow it. So number one is, do we know anyone? I had called some people that I knew, and I can leave this with you so you have the notes. I had started out with this Bill at Spring Rain. He does the strawberries, pick your own strawberries over by the Taunton Airport. He's a big hay guy.
Billy McCaffrey.
Yeah, I think that's his last name. I just go by Bill. I actually buy hay off him, so he was the first guy I called. And he's just in the middle of lots of projects, the strawberries and his own hay. And so he had given me other numbers, a Leo Gamache, who, it was kind of a wrong number, a Fasalo out of Taunton. I left a message there. I left a message at Hanson Farm. Who's taking notes? I'll give you this, so you don't have to write copious notes. I can explain them to you. I'd left a message at Hanson Farm in Bridgewater there, and I had left a message for Butch Bell, who has been around since day one, but no one ever called back. I had left the message, call Lorraine, we're talking about hay, so maybe in your passings, you folks may run into some of these people and have other people. So when does it need to be hayed? I would say immediately. And then the second phase, if you want to help write a spec that we would give to someone and say, listen, you can have the field for 5 years, but here's what you need to do. You know, you need to fertilize it, you need to do whatever, and that kind of thing.
Okay. Do we have any idea what the yield has been in the last couple of years?
No.
That's not been disclosed?
No.
Okay.
None of it's been disclosed. When I said, has he been fertilizing? No, I haven't. And no, my equipment's broken, and so on and so forth. So I had not talked to him directly. And so I think it's really just someone going to take a look at it and say, do I want to jump into this?
Okay.
I mean, but I don't have the baling equipment anymore. So I can leave this with you folks, and the immediacy is, in Lorraine Carboni, she certainly can be a lead person, but there's no harm in any one of you folks just going to the highway barn during the day. I don't know if anyone's ever used the keys, it's pretty tricky.
Yep.
There's like 3 sets of keys, the true lock is in the pipe. Who figured that? I'm trying to unlock the padlocks on the outside. So, I'm sure it's available to you all.
I was actually thinking about bending your ear on an idea I had, as far as any town property available to start up a program for Future Farmers of America for farming. Whether it was, if it wasn't being used, maybe we could set up a program to get farmers active within the town again.
Love it. I wouldn't mind. First of all, I'm not sure of the covenants of this, but we've always been able to take 40 acres and get the yield and spend $2,500 of our share. If it was well kept, it's worth a lot more than that. I mean, this was an agreement that was written in the dark ages on a handshake without making sure that the reinvestment was in there. But I would have no problem with a better agricultural use of this. I would have no problem sinking a well. First of all, I don't own that, so I don't know what the covenants are.
Right.
But I would see no harm in raising funds to sink a well, to irrigate this and things like that. Whatever would work. You might want to bite off a smaller section to begin with.
Right.
I don't know what, I would certainly be open to any sections in town that you thought appropriate. Securities are, not security, no one's gonna drive up there and steal the corn. It's way too much work to do that. So, I wouldn't mind that. I'd be open to any suggestions. So I thought of that, I said, well, maybe farming's better than haying, but I don't know a lot of wealthy farmers either, so.
Right, well, there's a lot of people out there that want to get involved in farming. Bristol Aggie has a Future Farmers of America program that a lot of kids are involved in. I don't know what the ratio is, Lakeville kids are involved in it, but the biggest hurdle of getting involved in farming is getting the land. And if we could set something up where the town can make some money and it gets them off and running, that might be a win-win.
I think it'd be a great idea. There's probably some sections, if we take this as that peach house here, that is this, when I say it's not good hayfield, it's sloped a lot, but it probably would be great for farming, not for necessarily haying, just the way it is and the turn radiuses and things like that. This is all great land for haying, so whether you hayed part, found part, boy, I'd be open to any suggestions at all.
All right, thank you.
So, you don't have to necessarily get back to me, you can get back to Lorraine, and not that you're gonna need any permission. You find someone who's interested in haying that, who wants to give us something, you know, I always think of a mind of a buck a bale or something like that. So someone says, well, I don't know what you're gonna yield, you know, 80 bales per acre, you know, is an average. I know people get 100, I know people that get less. And you always have the quality issue, but someone should be able to walk through there and say, hey, I'll give you a buck a bale first cutting and then work on specs. That's my suggestion, and I'm open to anything else. And if you choose not to be involved beyond the haying, that's okay too. But I like the idea of the farming. No water, but sinking a well's not a big deal.
Right.
How you store it so you can irrigate, that's a different scenario, but certainly there's a water source there. You know, the water's right here. I mean, I don't know I can't sit here and say I know the legality of running a pipe from here to here. I'm not going there.
Yeah, you don't wanna steal water from the city of New Bedford or the city of Taunton
No,
and get
my
yourself
God.
jammed up over there.
No, my God.
The only concern that I may have on something like this is that, you know, it's like looking for a roofer during
During peak season.
During the peak season, you know.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Parley, can you give us the phone number to reach Lorraine?
Yep, the cards are, okay, the number is gonna be 508-946-8803. That's the selectman's office. And she has this file that I'm gonna have Kelly just drop off back at the town office, that's all. It's right on her desk.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I can, I'm good friends with Butch Bell's daughter as well,
Yep.
Cindy Bell.
Yep.
Butch Bell actually had a stroke like 2 weeks ago, so I
Okay.
know he's
That's why he
crazy
isn't called, that's why he isn't calling me back.
On top of his,
So I had said who I left a message with here, here, and here. And I don't know if that's the proper spelling.
okay.
And I'm not saying these are the people that I suggest, these are just the names that Bill came up with.
I know
On
that
that.
years ago, George Conway used to do some hangover there, and we could, I mean, for the short term, to find out if we were looking for a yield, we could ask him, but I think he used to make round bales over there. So I don't know if we'd be able to get an accurate count for square, but he might be able to give us some idea of
Right.
what the yield was when he cut
Right,
it, if we're
right.
looking for that
I
information.
think people can walk through there and there's certainly standards. You know, it's always tricky because someone says, well, I'll give you $1 a bale, and the guy does 100-pound bale,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So the average is, you know, I think 80 bales per acre. You know, I used to get 100, you know, when you would till it and fertilize it and lime it. And then who's gonna eat it, you know, that kind of thing. But there should be someone.
You know when the last time it was fertilized and limed was?
That is so vague
Okay.
that I wouldn't even go to the bank. My sense is it would be at least a couple of years. It visually looked, you know, like anything, 90% of the field looked good, and a lot of bare spots, you know, no trees. I mean, if you've been up there for certain functions, you know, it looks good, but I know that without lime and fertilizer,
It won't.
you're just not making any progress. You're just robbing the resource out of the land, and I'm pretty sure that's what's happened. Perfect. Any questions? And Dave, certainly you can use this as a thought process to what you may want to use the land for.
Right.
And I'm not offering it's not mine, but we
Right.
can certainly investigate that. I think it's a great thing.
Okay.
The town would certainly support using a town resource. There's no question about that. And if you can
Great.
think of any other parcels, I'm certainly open to suggestions
Okay,
on that.
thank you.
Okay?
I did want to bend your ear also on.
Sure.
on
No,
4-H.
I'm not in a rush. I'm
I
gonna
hate
listen
to-
for a few minutes.
I hate to kind of jump to a different topic, but I don't want to keep you too long either.
Can we wait till we call it next on the agenda?
Is it next on the
It
agenda?
is
I'll be
next on
happy.
the agenda. I don't wanna ruin Robert's Rules of Order here and jump out of context. If we're all set with the discussion with Mr. Powderly, we will
Yep.
move on to
I can move right over here,
the
and
next part of the agenda.
Dave can either bend my ear later if you don't go on forever, or
No, it's just a simple
you can come to
question.
the 16th hole when I'm mowing.
Next on the agenda is the 4-H updates.
Unfortunately, it's pretty much the same update that it was last time we had a meeting. I spoke to both Nancy and Christina, and neither one of them heard back from 4-H yet. So, so far, I am the only one that has been approved to start a 4-H club. And I just went through the whole query check and background check and so on, just to help out if they needed it. So they're still in progress.
Okay. Do you have something that you need to talk to Mr. Powderly about that's
Actually,
okay now that this is the topic?
I do. It was, what I wanted to ask was, is that, when I was in 4-H growing up in East Middleborough, it was very hands-on. And we had the horse shows and so on, but, we learned a lot about the anatomy and horsemanship and so on with the animals. Plus, you know, because most of us had horses. This day and age, and this is also experience from my own kids, who went to like a horse club in Taunton. They had no hands-on with horses whatsoever. So, what I actually wanted to bend your ear on is if you'd be open to the idea of Powderly Meadows being available, like, you know, a couple times a year The 4-H has got a fantastic insurance policy to cover any issues, just to do some hands-on, like with horsemanship and so on.
Sure. I think that's a great idea, and we are one of the few, if you will, that's open to the public from our insurance point of view. Not that we're gonna cover that, like you said, 4-H covers, but absolutely I encourage that. I encourage people to come to our farm and feed the horses carrots. That doesn't give them hands-on, but it at least lets them
Introduces.
come to the farm
Yeah.
and do that. But certainly would do that. I'd have to speak to my daughter who owns the farm now.
Right.
But I would think we certainly would be receptive to that. I mean,
Okay.
if you went on our website, not to go there, but if you go on the website, we have a summer camp, you see them, you know, when I say paint the horses, they put that paint on it that they wash them off at the end of the day and stuff. So there's a lot that we do with our horses that is very much hands-on on all the anatomy and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I don't want to promote our place, but I think the 4-H club or a group of people would be more than welcome.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent. If we're all set with our 4-H update,
Yeah, it was short.
we will move up to again, another short update on the potential farmer's market. We have had zero interest expressed as far as a manager. We did have one potential candidate that we thought we had on the hook until she gave birth one night. We have not heard back from her. Both Dave and I have been in contact with Middleborough on several different occasions, and I think that they find themselves in a similar position, that they can't find a suitable market operator or an available market operator, I should say, at this time. I've reached out to some friends in the Dartmouth and Westport area who are heavily involved in the farmers markets and have had no luck there getting anybody to start one up in Lakeville with us. So I think at the present time, we're in limbo again on this. You know, the 2018 farmers market is not gonna
Yeah, it's not gonna pan out.
is not gonna pan out this year. And maybe if we keep beating the bush, we could come up with something for 2019. But currently, we have nobody on the horizon for us.
Even if we just found someone right now, I'd be a little nervous of trying to get 2018 spun up at this point,
Yeah.
so.
That'd be a lot of pressure. I mean, I would be open to someone coming forward at this stage of the game and discussing a long-term thing, you know, where, you know, the potential of a 2019 farmers market would be great. But right now, we are not getting any calls back. We are not getting any information on that.
The search goes on.
Well, and even if we found somebody, you know, after the season was well underway, there's always the potential if that person was, you know, ready to start something to do a winter market. And we could find a location, or, you know, there's
Yep.
locations in town, so, either 2018 or 2019, I think would be still, you know, on the docket for, don't lose hope.
Okay. That brings us to the next topic on the agenda, was a future events discussion. And I was thinking maybe we could start trying to eye maybe a fall harvest type of event. We would be open to putting something on or getting some involvement here in town. Maybe it, you know, a pre-Winterfest type of agenda, but on a smaller scale. We do still have a number of cranberry bogs that are harvested here in town. We have a number of other things that go on in the fall. And maybe if we put a little bit of work into something over the next couple months, we might be able to put something together for the fall. So I'd like everybody to give that some thought as far as something we may be able to do to keep our name active as the Agricultural Commission and promote some things in the town. there's nothing further on that. We do have a potential member in the audience, Mr. Van Lahoven, a longtime resident of County Road. Good evening.
Good
I'd
evening.
like to thank you for attending here
Thank you.
tonight. We would certainly welcome your expertise and your input here on the board if you are interested in being involved with the Agricultural Commission.
Yes, I would.
Do you have any questions of us?
Well, I think I'm just looking to sit in with you and learn how you operate and what you're doing, you know. I've farmed all my life, from horses to cattle, goats, sheep. My daughter runs around the Bend farm
Yep,
and son.
yep.
They're doing a pretty good job at it down there.
Yeah, I know them, I've been on site down there, yep.
Haying and fruit trees and whatever.
Are you interested in hanging Betty's neck?
Pardon? No. I ran a haying operation when I was running Crapo Hill landfill over in Dartmouth.
Yeah,
And the minute I left, they quit.
yeah,
You know, we were down around 60 bales per acre. And we had it for 10 years.
okay,
And then they put it out to bid, but their financial requirements were too high for any farmers to take it, which
Okay.
they felt was mandatory for the security of the landfill, you know?
right.
So it's a tough situation I think you're in,
No,
trying to get something.
No, you're right.
Well, we've had a couple people drop off here in the last couple months, and, you know, knowing you through town, you know, if you're interested in us, I think we're interested in you. You would have to submit a letter of interest to the Board of Selectmen. We do have some openings, so they're aware that we are actively trying to find some people from town. So if you're interested, I'm sure that the board could facilitate getting something going on that end. And I really appreciate you coming in tonight and look forward to working with you in the future if that's something that you so choose and the board approves.
Thank you.
That'd be great.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks. Last but not least on the agenda is the possibility of elections of new positions on the board and discussion of same. And I'm kind of wondering as we approach the new fiscal year, if anybody is interested in being the chairman of the Agricultural Commission.
I'd like to make a recommendation that everyone stay the same. Everyone's doing a good job now, so why change when you have something good going on?
I didn't expect that from you, Joan.
I second the motion.
You second the motion.
Again, I don't mind doing it. I just don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to control the board and I'm trying to, you know,
I don't believe anybody
stay
thinks
in the lead here. If anybody is interested, I would welcome it, but if you so choose, then I will
I think you do a great job.
Absolutely.
continue. Well, if somebody wants to make a motion that it remains the same,
I make a motion the offices remain the same.
I'll second that.
all those in favor?
Aye.
So passed.
Mr. Chairman, I think you have another potential member here.
He is our dedicated and only regular attendee here at the Agricultural Commission. Welcome, good to see you again. Any questions, concerns, or input tonight? Okay.
I have a question for you. How many people have shown an interest in becoming a part of the?
Including Mr. Van Lahoven, that would be 2.
I have one additional, he couldn't make it tonight, last minute changes, but I do have one additional person that's interested, very interested, so, hopefully they'll make it to the next meeting.
Okay. Well, you were gonna check Caitlin never heard anything back.
Yeah, my understanding is she's told me that she had dropped a letter off at the town clerk's office
Yeah.
with the belief that it would be forwarded to the Board of Selectmen. And the Board of Selectmen never saw
Never saw it?
Yeah.
Okay.
that letter of interest.
And next meeting will be my last meeting, so I'll be coming off the board. I'll be moving out of town, so I won't be able to serve on the board anymore. But I'll still help in any way I can, and you'll still be able to utilize the center. I'll make sure that happens, so.
And you'll still be around?
And I'll still be around. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. So we'll continue to march. If there's nothing more from anyone, I
I'd like to
will,
bring up that we could maybe discuss next time the right to farm paperwork that Dave gave us the last time,
okay,
that we reviewed,
okay,
and see how all the other towns have handled what they took out and what they put in, and maybe try to move forward with that a little bit.
okay. We'll put that on the next agenda. It's 8:01, if there's nothing more. Make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
A second.
Everyone in favor? Or all in favor? Anyone opposed? So adjourned.
Thank you.